Welcome to Makeup and Magic. I am Catherine Squires. I will be doing my face, and while I'm doing my face, I will be talking to you about some of my history in terms of my magical journey. And when I'm all done, I'll draw a tarot card, and it'll give us something to meditate over, see how it corresponds in our lives for the day, or even if it has nothing to do with your day, just something to meditate on for future, or just to get a better handle and understanding of the tarot. So, and I'll put a lot of text in the description that explains more about this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off, and I have to put my glasses on and off because I have contacts, but they tend to make my eyes water, which is counterproductive for trying to put on eye makeup. So I have a really heavy magnifying mirror behind my camera here. So if I look off screen, that's what I'm looking at, is my mirror. Because I can see details without my glasses using it. So I'm going to start out with my face. I've cleaned, I've washed, exfoliated, and moisturized my face and toned it. Not in that order. And now I'm going to be using my foundation. Now, I am heavily biased towards Mary Kay Cosmetics. Just because of how they feel on my skin. I haven't had the money to afford a lot of Mary Kay, so I don't have a lot. And before you ask, I have tried to sell it before. I'm not going to do it again, so please don't solicit me for that. So I'm going to start off with Ivory 5 of the Mary Kay. This is the Matte Wear Liquid Foundation. It's more suited for oily skin like mine. And I'm just going to put a little bit, probably more than I need, on these 3 fingertips. This is something I learned. And I'm just going to polka dot the crap out of my face. And then use my beauty blender, which I'm new to and absolutely freaking love. I've used smaller sponges before, but I really, really like these beauty blenders. This is my first one. I've never had one, and I thought I should give it a try. I didn't think it would be that much different, but boy, do I love it. Okay, so my journey into magic, I think as a child, I think I've always kind of known that I was a witch. I just didn't have the words to define it as such. As a very little girl, I was really good at lucid dreaming, controlling my dreams, which at the time I didn't know that's what it was. I was just very prone to having nightmares, and using lucid dreaming as a tool helped me to escape some of those nightmares. One of the things I used to tell myself, which I'm really trying to relearn now, is that when you're in a dream and you know you're dreaming and it's a bad dream, you can close your eyes really tight and keep telling yourself that when you open your eyes, you're going to be awake. Now, it doesn't always work. Even as a kid, it didn't always work, but it worked enough that I was able to escape quite a few bad dreams. I'm going to use a little bit more foundation, just because I'm kind of paranoid. It's not like I'm going anywhere, so even if I put too much on, it's not going to really bother anybody. Just in the areas that I really need the help, because I get a lot of redness. Eventually, I'd like to get to the point where I can try different types of makeup, different brands, which I think would be really fun. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this, is because even though I don't wear makeup that often, I've always thought it was really fun to play around with. I paint, I draw, I do watercolors, and now I do makeup. I am by no means a makeup artist. I have never made a living at this. Like I said, I've tried to do Mary Kay before, and I learned quite a few makeup tips through them. But I am not a salesperson. That involves talking to real people in real life, and I'm not good at that. Okay. Let me put my glasses on, make sure I got everything okay. I've got a scab on my nose. Promise it's not a booger. It's just dead skin. Yeah, I really do need to get different foundation though. I mean, I have another kind I could use next time. Just because I'm noticing that you can really see this on the skin. I mean, it almost makes my pores look bigger, which I'm not thrilled with. So maybe Mary Kay isn't the best way to go. I don't know. But that's what I've used in the past, and I'm especially fond of their skincare line. But again, can't afford it. My dad hooked me up with some Proactive, which is amazing, and I love it. Okay. All right, now I'm going to be using, make sure I grab the right tube because they both look the same. No, that's the foundation. Okay, so now I'm using the Time Wise Matte Wear Liquid Foundation number 3, Ivory 3, and that's going to be my concealer. So, sorry, I've got a runny nose a bit. So anyway, even as a kid, I've known I was a witch. I remember one time my mom was on the phone. I must have been like 3 or 4, maybe 5. I don't know. But I remember sitting on the floor, and got this bowl, and I'm just pouring stuff into the bowl. I'm not even really concerned with what I'm pouring in. I'm like nail polish remover, perfume, anything liquid I could get my hands on. Which normally I would not recommend because kids can do stupid things. But fortunately, I wasn't entirely that stupid. My mom came in. She was on the phone, and I remember my mom came in, and she was like, "Katie, what are you doing?" And I very matter-of-factly told her I was making a witch's brew. And her main concern was, I'm not going to feed it in anyone, right? And I was like, nope, as soon as I'm done, it's going down the toilet. She's like, oh, okay, well then carry on. And told her friend, well, my daughter's making a witch's brew. So there you have it. And so, I mean, the knowledge, the self-awareness has always been there, even if, like I said, I didn't have a way to define it. And when you grow up in a really, I mean, it's not so small now, but when I was a kid growing up in Puyallup, that's Washington, by the way, Indian name. As a kid growing up in Puyallup, even the local bookstore, I mean, the only books you could really find on paganism was either Christian writers screaming Satanism, Satanism, or really thin type books that, you know, gave some good information, but not a lot. And so it left me open to be, you know, taken advantage of by people who claim to know more, claim to know better, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, being a kid, and how do I open this damn thing? There we go. And being a kid and having a thirst for knowledge, of course, it was easy for me to fall in with crowds of, you know, people being like, oh yeah, we know all about this, come join us, blah, blah, blah. And I'm grateful that no one took physical advantage of me for it. I mean, don't know that they could have, but they could have, I don't know. But it was just being around people who were messing around with stuff that they probably had no business messing around with and had no clue what they were doing in the first place, but like to pretend they do because it gave them a power trip, which, you know, okay, people are people. I don't like this. Where's my beauty blender? There we go. Is that gonna do it? Just trying to put a bunch of powder here so that when I do my eye makeup, it'll catch a lot of the fallout, if any. Okay. So, eventually I did get away from those people, which was good. I had a couple bad experiences, which I will probably share in another episode sometime. But, you know, growing up and moving through life, I've come across people in my life who've steered me in different directions, spiritually speaking. I had an ex-girlfriend who taught me about Hecate, whereas before that, the only thing I knew was a witch, but I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what it meant in terms of how to learn, how to find out information, how to become who I was. And so an ex-girlfriend introduced me to Hecate, which was a huge stepping stone for me. Up until that point, I had no knowledge of anything. Anything. I didn't know about quarters. I didn't know about drawing down the moon. I didn't know about summoning, calling upon the goddess. I didn't know about anything. The only thing I had known up until that point is how to do tarot cards and play with crystals, and that was it. So it's very, very minimal education in that front. It was when I was pregnant with my son that I had a calling, if you will. I do a lot of work in my dreams. Obviously, I used to do lucid dreaming as a child. And one night I had a dream, and I've always felt a strong connection with my Irish heritage, but I knew nothing about my Irish pantheon, the goddess and gods and whatnot. I knew somewhat of Bridget and somewhat of Kronos, but nothing else of anyone else. And so one night I dreamed that I was somewhere, and there was a lot of chaos going on, and I looked up and I saw just the sky was filled with ravens and crows and any other black corvid birds. And I remember hearing the word Morrigan, almost like it was whispered on the wind as they were flying by. And suddenly I was in a room where I was with another woman, and the other woman was cowering, very, very afraid in the corner. And I didn't know why, but I assumed there was a reason. So I went and was cowering with her because I had no idea what was coming. And these men come in, and they're in some type of armor. It was a long time ago, so it's hard for me to remember the details. But they started like they were going to attack me. And again, I cowered because that's what the other girl was doing, and I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do. And so the guards stopped, they left, and this woman came in, and she was way tall. Like, I would probably come up to her waist. And she just looked at me, and the look she gave me was one of almost like disappointment. And she turned and walked out, and I realized that the reason she was disappointed was because I was supposed to fight back, and I hadn't. And so the guards came back in, and I realized what I needed to do. I needed to get up and fight. So I got up, and I got into fighting stance. When I was 25, I did some Muay Thai kickboxing, which was a blast, and I wish I continued, but the teacher left. They came in, I got into the fighting stance, I was ready to fight, and I honestly don't remember if I won the fight or not. I don't even remember battling, but I don't think that was the point. I think the point was I was supposed to get up and actually defend myself, or try to. And so the next thing I know, I'm on the floor, kneeling on the floor, and I'm in front of this huge throne with, of course, the woman is sitting in. She's got beautiful black hair. Her face was always, anytime I've had dreams involving goddesses, and I've had a few, their faces are always, it's like I see it in the dream, but when I wake up, I can't remember it. But I can remember their hair, I can remember their outfit, I can remember, things like that. So anyway, so she was looking down at me, and she had the look of, like, she was proud of me. She was happy for me. And I realized at that moment that I had broken through something, that I had succeeded at this. And so when I woke up, and it was very, very vivid for a long, obviously it's been like 12 years. I still remember quite a bit of it. I started looking into Morgan. And like I said, the only thing I'd heard of Morgan wasn't even a Morgan. It was Morgan Le Fay from the author series, from the King author. So I didn't know what I was going to find. I had no clue. And I was telling someone about it, and they said, oh, you mean Morrigan? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, that's an Irish goddess. And I was like, oh. So a friend of mine got me this book on Irish Celtic lore and gods and goddesses. And there really wasn't a whole lot in there about Morrigan, but it was enough that I was like, oh, okay, cool. And the more I looked into it, and the more I saw that was associated with her, it made me realize that this is who was visiting me. This wasn't just a dream. This was a visitation, because I was learning things about her that I had no idea, but were prevalent in the dream. And so I've been a huge follower of hers ever since. And for those of you who don't know, Morrigan she's a goddess of war and of sovereignty. A lot of people think she's a goddess of death. I think that death is a part of it. I think she's, I know I'm going to say this wrong, Pompin something or other. She's someone that can travel between the living and the dead. And what she gave to me through her teachings was strength. I had been in a abusive relationship, and though I didn't realize it at the time when I left, my leaving that situation was with her influence as well, and I'll get into that another time. I need to get more blushes. I have 2 blushes. I can't find one of them. So the one I'm using is Avon. I'm not too keen on Avon, but it's what I've got. Maybe I'll get more down the road. It's not a bad color, but it's a bit, I don't know. You got to put in a lot to get any kind of pigment, and then by the time you get enough pigment, you end up putting too much on. So it's like, So, I put it up like this on here because it does really well for people who wear glasses, at least in my experience. So yeah, it's a bit too dark for me, but I'll take it. Anyway, so the more I got to know Morgan, the more I felt like she's always been there for me, whether I realized it or not. And she's helped me learn strength and learn to value myself, learn to believe in myself, have confidence, stand up for myself, setting boundaries, stuff that as a kid I didn't really have a lot of because of some of the stuff I grew up with. So it was really huge for me to find that calling. And that's pretty much how I've been ever since. I'm always looking to grow, to learn. I've actually been steered in the direction of a couple other goddesses. Anya, which is also sometimes associated with Danu, but there's a couple different schools of thought that Anu or Anya is actually a separate goddess than Danu. Whether it is or isn't, I don't really care. She came to me as Anya, so that's who I'm referring to her as. But she's been teaching me about Morgan. It taught me how to embrace and love and appreciate my dark side. Anya is helping me to reconnect and grow within my light side as well, because we all have our dark and our light side. But mine was so buried before I met Morgan, was so buried and so it was like a pressure cooker. You know, it was still for a long time, but then when it blew, I would go on full psychosis. And so Morgan helped me kind of get a lot of that under control. And Anya has been helping me reconnect with my light side, something that for a long time growing up, or as an adult, I was starting to lose touch with. I was starting to think didn't exist. because I live with depression and PTSD, and so a lot of times those affect my connection with my lighter side. So yeah. So I'm doing my eyes. I got this really cool Ipsy bag from a friend of mine because I've been wanting to do Ipsy for a while. But again, priorities need to be taken care of. But she gave me this really cool, and I'll show you the little bag. It came in this little bag. It says your magic. I don't know if it'll be backwards on my screen or not. But it has this Illuminati. Anyway, quad palette. It's browns and it's sparkly, and I love it. I tend to wear browns. If I do wear makeup just to go out in the day, a lot of times I'll wear browns, natural colors. And then if I, guys, my nose is driving me nuts. Cotton balls for the win. Okay. But it was super awesome. It has this really cool eyeshadow, and it has a mascara and lipstick. And then I've got this. I'm going to show you this later. This is my lip gloss my sister bought me. I forget what it's called. I think it's called Marshmallow. Which is, you know, kind of apropos since I've been binging on those lately. Oh, and the powder I used was the Neutrogena. I like Neutrogena. Just the concept of it. Okie dokie. So, for my first color, yeah. And I'm not going to tell you what kind of brushes I'm using because honestly, I don't even know most of the time. I know this one's a Mary Kay. I like my Mary Kay brushes. I don't know where half of them went to. I used to have a whole bunch of them, and now like I've only got like 3 or 4 of them. I don't know what the heck happened to it. I suspect my cat. Okay, so I'll turn my mirror around so you can see my eyes better. There we go. Oh yeah, lots of lines and creases. I'm getting so old. Okay, so I'm going to start with this color. Okay, so my camera cut out. So I finished the first base color, and I got some darker color around the corners, which I'm going to keep working with. So it doesn't tell me the eyeshadow names, but this is the one I used for my base, and this is the one I used in the corners, and I'm going to use the sparklies to jazz it up. And it looks like I'm going to have to do it this way, where I'm going to have to like record some, stop, record some, stop, and it's just going to be until I get a better camera setup situation thing so that I can record all in one spot and then go back and edit it later. But in the meantime, I'll just have to edit a few videos together, which I've never done, but could be fun. Okay. So, okay. So I am going to use, where's my eyeliner? Now I've got these 2 different brown eyeliners. I'm not sure which one is better. So I'm going to try one. So I've got Almay Black Brown, and then I've got Essence Waterproof, but First Espresso. That's the name of the shade. I think I'm going to go with the Almay one just to get a little bit of darkness in here, because I think when it's done it's going to be too bright. Yeah, I'm kind of digging that. You know, I generally put eyeliner on close to last, but I kind of want to see how it looks with the rest of the browns on here. And it's okay if it's not a perfect line, because it's going to be buffed out a little bit anyway. Where's my buffer brush? I have one. I don't know where it is. So many brushes. Is this it? No. Is this it? I think so, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I might switch to the other brown. I'll try it on the other eye and see how it looks. Okay, let's see how the essence looks. Well, it goes on real easy, that's for sure. Ooh, very easy. I gotta be careful with that. I was gonna try and do this yesterday, but my arm was hurting so much. I have fibromyalgia, and sometimes the pain is just, I mean, most of the times it's widespread or located in my hips. But yesterday it was just my entire left arm was just racked with pain. And everything I tried to help did not, as much as I would have liked. Yeah, I'm not sure which one I like better. I mean, this one blends better for like smoky look, but this one's color is a little bit more what I'm looking for. I don't know. Well, I'll finish my eye color and see how it looks from there. Now this is my first video, so it's going to be a lot of cutting and editing and whatnot. I think as I get used to this, as I try and make this a habit, I might start switching to live. I still won't be able to answer questions while I'm doing this because, again, I don't have my glasses on, can't read. But I will, if you have any questions for me once this is posted, you're more than welcome to post questions in the comment section. Or if you know, me talking about some of my experiences triggers a memory of yours that you would like to share, I would love to hear it. I'm always happy to hear about other people's experiences. Yeah, and then, you know, down the road, if things improve and I'm able to get better contacts, then maybe I can switch to that, and then I can start seeing the questions as they're posted, and I can answer them right away while I'm doing live or whatnot. In the meantime, though, this is what I'm sticking with. So I'm going to use this one. It's kind of a gold. It's hard to see on the phone, but it's more of a gold sparkly. And I'm going to use that one just right in here in the corners. Something lighter to give it a little bit of a pop. Not a lot though. Gives it a nice sparkle. Not really a whole lot of pigment in the sparkly one, just sparkle, which is fine. And then this last one right here, I'm going to use on my lid right in the middle. I like that. And I might take a little bit of this darker matte color, maybe just put a little bit on my brow bone. Give that some extra color. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to use Not bad. Okay. So, I've got the eyeshadow on. I'm gonna redo my line. I'll use the Almay for the full lining. Oh, it's already up. There we go. Oh, for God's sakes. Eyeliner is not for the weak. Clearly my eyeliner game is not on. I don't know if any of you guys are interested in, but I do have a Facebook page called Raven's Quill, where I basically anything I find on Facebook that I think I would love to include in my book of shadows, I post on that page so I don't lose it. And then at some point down the road I might print them out and put them in my book of shadows. So it just depends. But you're welcome to view it. It's got a lot of good info on there. It's got a lot of my history on there too. I also showcase my paintings on there. They're actually through a different page, fine art. I don't know. It's in the link. If you go to my page, you'll see it in the links. I'm really not happy with this. I think the eyeliner was just kind of like a fiasco. All right. Trusty dandy Neutrogena again. Oh, there we go. So I'm a mother of an autistic child. So bags under the eyes, pretty much standard issue. Okay, let's see here. I've done my eyes. Oh, mascara. Now, I got this. This was in a little Ipsy bag too. This is a Bobbi Brown mascara. And I love it, except that it's not waterproof. I'm one of those types of people that if I even see a sad commercial, I'll start bawling. So more often than not, it's waterproof mascara or nothing. But since I'm only doing this for the video, and I'm probably going to wash it off later anyway, I'm totally fine using non-waterproof mascara. Now, a lot of people do their top lashes and their bottom lashes, and that's totally cool if you're into that. I generally won't do my bottom lashes, and I don't know, it's not really an aesthetic thing. I suppose it kind of is. Anytime I do my bottom lashes, I start thinking I look like the dude from Clockwork Orange, and that just creeps me the hell out. So... mascara that likes to go everywhere. All right, looks good. Sorry, that clicking is my mirror. I'm switching it back and forth from regular magnification to ultra magnification. Okay, so now for my lips. Now, I had 2 lip liners, but when I tried to use one the last time, it was just garbage. It was thick and crumbly, and it was just garbage. So this one is, and I don't know if last time I tried this one, but this is the Revlon Color Stay Lip Liner in Prune. And so we are going to give it a try. Yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. Okay. Okay, not the most perfect lip lining, but whatever. I'm not going anywhere. And then this is the lipstick that came with the Ipsy bag. This one is, it is shade Envy. It's a mineral lipstick. Oh, Bella Pierre Cosmetics. Okay, this is the shade in Envy. I really like it. I tend to stick with lipsticks that are not orange, but like reds and blue, you know, stuff with like a purple pigment base or a brown pigment base. Oops. I generally try and avoid things that are too orange or too pink. Okay. And then the last thing, because I don't actually own setting spray, is the lip gloss my sister bought me. I really like this stuff. Its shade is Marshmallow, and it's it is NYX. I think it's NYX, yeah. And I like it. It's not sticky. It's smooth and it feels moisturizing. And I have really crappy teeth, but as far as I can tell, my lipstick is not sticking to my teeth, so that's nice. That's one of the things I've had a problem with Avon makeup before, is their lipsticks always end up on my teeth. Always. Okay, so my video cut out. I cleared a bunch of space. Now I've got room. So I'm going to try this again. I'm going to draw a card. Now, I tried this a minute ago, and I don't think I got enough of it. So I'm using the Hidden Realms tarot deck. It's a very Morrigan-centric artwork on it, which I absolutely love. And so I'm drawing a card for today, and then I'll read the meaning of it. And then throughout your day, just try and meditate on the card, meditate on its meaning, see how it might that's not really better. Meditate on its meaning, see how it might connect with you in some way, or just meditate on it to get a better understanding of that particular card in the tarot deck, which is a good way to learn it, so I'm told. Oh, goodness sakes. I did not want to shuffle. There we go. So the card I'm drawing is the Page of Wands. Very cute. I love it. Okay, Page of Wands. Not a very good wrapping job, but I'll deal with that later. So the Page of Wands. This is the divinatory meaning. This card represents someone with an active and curious mind. He wants to know about everything, try anything new, and move just for the joy of moving. Because he demands so much stimuli, it may seem like he has a very short attention span. Perhaps that's one way to put it. But really, he just needs new information to keep his mind happy. Along with his inquiring mind, he has a passion for life that usually has a sidekick of optimism. He has not had enough hard experience to temper his enthusiasm and confidence. His energy is contagious. So it's basically a love of life. He wants to experience everything, which is, I think, wonderful. I mean, as long as you're careful. You don't want to go jumping off cliffs without a bungee cord. Just saying. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude this first video, and hopefully I will do a halfway decent job at editing, and you will see this on my Facebook and YouTube. Have a great day. Have a magical day, and take care. See you next time.